Buckle up, explorers. Let's journey 66 million years back in time to the end of the Cretaceous period, when dinosaurs ruled and then vanished. You've probably heard about their epic demise due to a massive global catastrophe. But what came next? I took a time-traveling leap to find out, and trust me, it was a wild ride. The aftermath of this mass extinction event was a world unrecognizable from the one we know today. Are you ready to uncover its secrets with me? Get ready for an intergalactic adventure as we blast off to our cosmic destination, a planet that's still healing from a devastating blow. You might wonder which Earth dwellers met their end instantly and who managed to hold on for dear life. We'll also uncover the drastic climate shifts they faced and witness how Mother Nature worked her magic in reclaiming the planet after an otherworldly disaster. The Mesozoic era's grand finale, a colossal asteroid or comet collision that sent shockwaves around the globe. Buckle up and let's dive into this pivotal moment in Earth's history. The great debate among scientists continues. Just how massive was this extraterrestrial menace? Estimates range wildly from 11 to 80 kilometers in diameter. That's as small as Washington, D.C., or as gigantic as a skyscraper could reach for altitude. Imagine one end of this cosmic behemoth already buried deep into our planet, while the other remained towering higher than even a jumbo Boeing 747 jet would fly. It's safe to say, no matter its true size, this cataclysmic collision left an unmistakable mark on Earth's history. Fast forward to the aftermath, this colossal asteroid crash didn't just leave a scar, but an entire landscape reshaped. Meet Chicxulub crater, spanning an astonishing 93 miles wide and plunging down a deep 12 miles into our planet's crust. That's roughly half the size of the Gulf of Mexico. Mind-bogglingly massive, this impact zone is one of Earth's largest, serving as a stark reminder that we've weathered many cosmic storms. But this one remains etched as one of the most monumental in history. Can you picture a wall of water taller than 5 iconic Eiffel Towers? The impact sent shockwaves, unleashing megatsunamis that towered at an astonishing height. Some sources say up to 985 feet, while others claim an unbelievable 1.5 kilometers high. That's roughly the distance from a small town to its outskirts. These monstrous waves crashed down on what is now Texas and Florida, reshaping coastlines in the blink of an eye, leaving an indelible mark on our planet's history. Imagine standing on a coastline as monstrous waves keep slamming into it for an entire day. 10 long hours of relentless power. But hold on, things could have been much worse if the asteroid had fallen deeper into the ocean. We might be talking about tsunamis that would dwarf even these mind-boggling heights. The impact sparked a blast so massive, it outshone anything we can compare it to. Think of it as 100 million times more powerful than the world's biggest nuclear explosion, the infamous Tsar Bomba. In an instant, this cosmic collision reduced entire forests over hundreds of miles to ashes. Scientists estimate that the force released was equivalent to a staggering 100 trillion tons of TNT, a number so enormous it redefines scale. The cataclysmic aftermath of that colossal impact is hard to fathom. It obliterated coastlines, triggered 12-magnitude earthquakes, and sent massive landslides barreling all the way down to Argentina, creating a devastating chain reaction of tsunamis that would be impossible to survive. But if you thought things couldn't get any worse, think again. The immense energy from the asteroid's crash lit up the landscape like a wildfire inferno, engulfing everything within a 930-mile radius. A massive zone of destruction where life, including giants like the Diplodocus, stood little chance. The survivors of that monumental blast and blaze were then swept away by a massive tsunami's rapid retreat, while microscopic pieces of the asteroid and its fragments went rocketing high into the sky like a cosmic fireworks display. These minuscule particles would later be found on every continent, carried far and wide as they plummeted back down to Earth. What happened next was nothing short of apocalyptic. Within just 40 minutes, these particles started falling from the heavens at an alarming rate, hot and molten, like tiny droplets of glass, their immense kinetic energy translating into a fiery blast equivalent to an astonishing 20 million megatons of TNT, converting all its force into scorching heat. As these blazing particles from space continued their deadly descent, each one transformed into an infernal lantern, bathing the Earth in a fiery glow. Within mere moments, our planet was engulfed in a sweltering heat wave, rapidly turning the atmosphere into a furnace. Dinosaurs and countless other species, unfortunately situated in this scorching zone, likely perished after just a few hours of exposure to these extreme temperatures, their fate sealed by a disaster that had nothing to do with earthquakes or tsunamis, but everything to do with an extraterrestrial catastrophe. The once lush forests, now mere tinderboxes, erupted into massive conflagrations. It was as if hell itself had descended upon our ancient Earth. 75% of all life on Earth met its demise in an instant, and that included massive mammals, any creature weighing over 5 pounds, gone in a flash. Meanwhile, acid rain poured down, poisoning our oceans and rendering them hostile to the remaining species. Half of the world's plant life also perished, succumbing to the intense heat within hours. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, imagine a thick, impenetrable veil shrouding the planet, blocking out the sun's rays. A toxic cocktail of soot from the raging infernos and dust kicked up by the impact combined to create this suffocating barrier, plunging the Earth into perpetual darkness. No sunlight could penetrate, and life as we knew it was on the brink of collapse. But here's the kicker. This catastrophe didn't end immediately. Its effects lingered for about a year, wreaking havoc on our climate. Even some hardy plants that rode out the initial blast eventually met their demise. Then, in a stunning twist, it seemed as though some larger herbivores had defied the odds and made it through. But don't pop the champagne just yet. Their predators, those apex carnivores, were also on the brink of extinction, until they too miraculously bounced back. And while the oceans took a devastating blow, with many aquatic ecosystems destroyed, there was still hope. Water-dwelling survivors like turtles and the early ancestors of crocodiles managed to cling to existence, their resilience allowing them to weather the storm and pave the way for the rebirth of life on Earth. Imagine a world that's more like the moon than Earth, barren, desolate, and devoid of life as we knew it. It was a harsh environment where survival was a daily struggle, but despite these extreme conditions, our planet refused to give up on life. This catastrophic event wiped out almost all the large animals, leaving only a few tiny sparks of hope behind. Yet, it didn't take long for those who remained to start rebuilding and repopulating our land, and the first pioneers to reclaim their place on Earth. The foraminifera, small but mighty creatures that marked the beginning of life's remarkable resurgence. Fast forward a few years, and tiny single-celled organisms start popping up in the crater, the first signs of life after the devastation. These microscopic heroes pave the way for others to flourish, and soon, ferns start making their comeback too. They rapidly expand across the landscape, taking over almost every inch of space left behind. But here's the thing, while ferns were thriving, large mammals were struggling to find enough food. It was a tough time for these massive creatures, and it would take even longer for them to bounce back. So, what did this newly reborn ecosystem look like? Well, only small animals, weighing less than 600 grams or roughly 1/3 of a pound, could be found roaming among the dense ferns. The plant selection was pretty limited too. Just a few flowering plants and scarce nutritious seeds were available to munch on. But don't worry, patience is key. After a whopping 100,000 years, mammals finally started growing back, reaching sizes similar to our furry friend, the raccoon. Meanwhile, those mighty ferns made way for palm forests, which brought an abundance of food for all the new inhabitants of this reborn world. Fast forward another 200,000 years, yes, you read that right. The palm period had its time in the sun, but it soon gave way to what we'll call the pecan pie period. Now, before your taste buds start dancing, let's clear up a crucial point. No actual pecan pie was being baked back then. Instead, these ancient ecosystems were teeming with nut-like plants that packed a serious nutritional punch. This bounty wasn't lost on our furry friends. Mammals took full advantage of this food bonanza and started thriving like never before. Get ready for an explosion of life. The diversity of species more than tripled, and we're not talking just any critters. The largest ones weighed a whopping 25 kilograms, which is equivalent to the size of a big beaver or gazelle, massive for back then. It's as if mammals and plants had formed an unstoppable partnership. They were evolving together in perfect harmony. And then, around 700,000 years later, came one of the most powerful plant superstars yet, beans. Now it's crystal clear why beans were super important. They were like protein bars for ancient mammals. These nutrient-rich powerhouses not only helped animals get bigger, but also led to an even wilder variety of species. By this time, some future planet titans were already tipping the scales at over 50 kilograms. That's the weight of a large cheetah today. Can you believe it? Fast forward to an explosion of size. Ancient mammals were now a whopping 100 times bigger than their fern-dwelling ancestors. This transformation didn't take centuries or millennia, but just under 1,000,000 years. In the grand scheme of evolution, that's almost lightning speed. But if we compare it to the ocean's recovery process, things took a much longer time. Scientists believe it took about 3 whole million years for marine life to bounce back. As organic matter started flowing again, Earth's ecosystem began to rebalance. New species filled the vacant spots, and what a fascinating twist. Scientists think birds are actually the last remaining dinosaurs, with their non-avian cousins going extinct, but a small group of lizard relatives cleverly survived by mastering some seriously useful skills like diving, swimming, or taking refuge in swampy waters. From building cozy ground nests, it's clear many bird species adapted to living through tough times. Their ancestors' survival strategies gave them an edge. Being able to nest on the ground helped them thrive amidst the chaos. Fast forward, life bounced back, and evolution brought forth humans, a remarkable outcome directly linked to that massive asteroid impact, which kick-started the transformation. That asteroid's impact served as a major evolutionary trigger for humans. But what if it happened again? You might be wondering what Earth's survival plan is. Here's the thing, while most of us wouldn't make it through another space attack, our resilient planet would bounce back in no time. And just like before, life would find a way to keep thriving. Fast forward tens of millions of years, despite being ancient history, we've managed to piece together quite the story. Thanks to fossils and samples of our Earth's crust, scientists have cracked many secrets. Like when the mighty dinosaurs went extinct. It wasn't easy, it took time and determination. If you dug this video, hit that thumbs up button for more edutainment fun. That's all for today's video. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time.